You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. I was joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. All right, we got a lot to cover. And, of course, this sham prosecution of the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, in Fulton County, Georgia, is getting real heated. And, of course, there are 18 others that are indicted. Some of them are famous names that we know. Some of them are vaguely familiar. Some of them probably aren't familiar to you at all. And then there's another, this is just in Fulton County we're talking about, there's another 30 unindicted co-conspirators whose names have not been released. And one of the more well-known people that have been indicted is Jenna Ellis, Jenna Ellis, funny thing about her on social media, I know this sounds shallow, but she's one of those people who looks completely different based on what angle the camera is. Like if you see her from the front, she looks one way, and then if you see her kind of just a little bit on the side, it looks like a whole different person. It's very strange. But anyway.
Kind of like Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly's the same thing, yeah.
Bad profile.
So Jenna Ellis was Trump's attorney, and she was, throughout the whole process, she was with Mayor Giuliani in that press conference where Giuliani's hair dye was
that was
going
not,
down
that
his...
was not a good look.
Yeah, I'm going great. A lot of guys my age dye their hair. I will never dye my hair, okay? I don't mind having... I've had gray hair since I was 20 years old, so, it's not a big deal. But anyway, Jenna Ellis, she was there all along, very loyal to Trump. She was doing all the television interviews and everything. And then the last few months, I've seen her on Twitter, and her Twitter, she comes up in my feed, and she's always promoting DeSantis since he started running for president against Donald Trump. And then she gets indicted in Fulton County. And I immediately thought when she got indicted in Fulton County that she knew this was coming. She's not stupid. She's a lawyer. She's on the inside. These things don't just come out of the blue. When you're someone who's going to be indicted by a grand jury, a lot of times, especially when you're a prominent connected attorney like her, it's coming. And I'd been wondering, and as soon as the indictment came down with Jenna Ellis in it in Fulton County with Trump and Giuliani and the rest, I was wondering, this is the first thought in my mind, I wonder if she's been tweeting all this pro-DeSantis stuff to send signals to the prosecutor that she's not loyal to Trump and she's willing to cooperate, which means tell them whatever they want to hear so that they can try to get a conviction against Trump. And then Laura Loomer tweeted something last night, and I wanted to share this with you. This was an interesting thing, okay? Jenna Ellis has put an online fundraiser, like a crowdfunding thing online for her legal defense. And a lot of liberals are saying, Trump won't pay for the... President Trump cannot pay for the defense of these other people because there's a conflict of interest because the lawyers are to be loyal to the client, not to another defendant who's paying them in these cases. So it's what he's doing by not paying, as cruel as it sounds, is what he's got to do. So she put together this crowdfunding campaign, Jenna Ellis, to donate to her legal defense fund. And MAGA people like us I unfollowed Jenna Ellis a while back when I started seeing all this pro-DeSantis stuff. I did follow her again today on my Twitter just so I can keep up to date on what she's doing and saying in regards to this case in Fulton County. But she's on my you-know-what list. So anyway, Laura Loomer tweeted last night, if you see a Give, Send, Go, that's the crowdfunding platform she's using, floating around for Jenna Ellis, who was indicted, do not donate. This is Laura Loomer. Do not donate. She has already publicly threatened online to turn on Donald Trump. And given that she's a pathological liar, God only knows what type of lies she would tell about Donald Trump. Okay.
Well, that's just going to get liberals to donate to her defense.
No, listen to this. So then Laura Loomer, she concludes, she says, this woman is evil. She's also supporting Ron DeSantis. Don't give her a penny. And then attached to this, Laura Loomer put a screenshot of a tweet that Jenna Ellis tweeted on April 16th this year. And it was an article that she commented on. The article was from the Post Millennial. Mm-hmm. And the headline on the article said, "Liberal group fails to get Jenna Ellis disbarred. Woke judge files censure statement anyway." And then Jenna Ellis tweeted that story and wrote this. Okay. If I wanted to sell out Trump, believe me, I could. This ain't it. This she's talking about this thing in April. She says, if I wanted to sell out Trump, believe me, I could. So this is in April, Jenna Ellis wrote this. So I think Jenna Ellis, if she's not already, she will be working with these prosecutors. She may have been working with them for months already, including Smith, right, the deranged Jack Smith, and Fulton County, where she's got the indictment. Jenna Ellis, I think, is, I hate to use the word cooperating. When you cooperate with these outlaws in the justice system that are going after Trump, that means making stuff up and tell them everything they want to hear so they'll lay off of you and go after Trump. So cooperating is a bad word. I got to think of another word for the betrayal. But I want you guys listening to the program to let us know what you think in the comments. Is Jenna Ellis working with these criminal prosecutors in their persecutions of Trump? Both Fani Ellis, who I know they're trying to say her name is Fana. It's yeah, give me a break.
Jenna Ellis has been tweeting against Trump
for months
and pro DeSantis for months because she knew this indictment was coming. They've been talking about it for a year. Yeah. And she has been distancing herself from the Trump team. And I think she did that in the hopes of avoiding an indictment. I think that's why she did it in the first place.
Now she's indicted.
Yeah, I think she did it as a way to distance herself to try to not get indicted. And if that didn't work, you're right. She is letting them know that she is no longer on the Trump team. And I think that she will be the key to their prosecution of this. I think she will turn on all of them. I think she will do. Yeah. She'll be the Michael Cohen of the group.
You know what I expect?
She'll do whatever she has to do.
I expect her to testify against him.
No, I think she will throw them all under the bus. Yeah. I really do. I think that it just takes one person to make a deal and to throw everybody under the bus. And I think she will definitely be the one, if not more than one, but she definitely will be one of them to do it.
And she was She's
been setting the stage all along.
And she was in every room for every meeting.
That's right.
So, and again, I'm not saying that Jenna Ellis has anything on Trump. I don't think Trump did anything wrong.
She was right in the thick of it.
I think she will say whatever it is she has to say to save her skin. And since she was in the room and in every meeting with Giuliani and President Trump throughout all this, that she can place herself in these rooms. So let us know
who's that girl that was working with Trump, young girl, I can't remember now, and she testified against him. And you had said that she was like a fraud and she had been coached. She was stupid. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name, but it's the one.
But that's what this is going to happen.
It's the girl who I cannot remember her name, but it's the girl who had this ridiculous story about Trump trying to take over
the Secret Service in the car.
Yeah, trying to take over the steering wheel of the car from the Secret Service, grab the wheel from him.
Yeah, it was a made-up story. They got her to say it to testify, and that's what's going to happen with Jenna. They're going to coach her. They're going to tell her what to say, and she's going to do – I think she is going to say whatever she has to say to save her own skin.
Exactly. It looks that way to me. So let us know in the comments what you think. Is Jenna Ellis working with both deranged Jack Smith and Fani Willis in Fulton County? Is she betraying Trump and MAGA? And do you think that all these tweets and everything she's been doing in her promotion of Ron DeSantis has been a way to advertise, come to me, I want to be a cooperating witness? And, it's another thing, too, that really is a major betrayal to go after attorneys. Here, more attorneys, her and Giuliani, top attorneys for President Trump. And I've never in my life heard of attorneys being prosecuted with their clients. Criminal.
I've never heard of that.
Criminal defense attorneys, like this Long Island serial killer, right? They get this guy. They got this Long Island,
Rex
killer.
Something.
This Long Island serial killer they just got. He's got a lawyer. He's got a legal team. Yeah. He's pleading not guilty.
I know.
So his attorneys, and just to take this away from Trump so you can understand how crazy this is. So his attorneys are going to court. Anytime he goes to court now, the trial hasn't started, of course. But when they go to court, they're defending him, claiming he's innocent because he pled innocent. They are giving him legal advice for a innocent plea defense. They're going to go to court and make an argument that he didn't do it. Obviously, the guy did it, but he gets convicted. Would it be right to go back to his defense attorneys and say, "Hey, you were defending a guilty man and said he was not guilty. We're gonna prosecute you and send you to prison"? That's what they're doing to Donald Trump's lawyers.
They're
It's crazy.
trying to set up, and this is why they got into Trump's Twitter account and why they're going after Mark Meadows for telling people to watch things and going after just like tweets and things like this and DMs, because what they're trying to do is show that this group, this gang of people were conspiring behind the scenes to turn over the election. Well, if you read the Daily Mail, and I put this in the Facebook group today, Alan Dershowitz said that what Trump and his legal team did after the election was exactly what he did with Al Gore after the election with George Bush.
In Florida.
They called up states, election people. They were trying to, because that election, Al Gore lost by like 300 votes. 150 votes in Florida. And the recount went on for months. And then
what they did,
I think
Kathy,
it went to court, didn't it? It was so long ago.
What they did in 2000, okay, and I'd forgotten.
Yeah, it was 23 years ago.
I'd forgotten that Alan Dershowitz was working for Al Gore.
Yeah. He said they did all the same stuff that Trump's doing.
I vaguely remember him working with Al Gore, but I remember the whole thing because we're here in Florida.
Right.
And they were counting the ballots. They were doing recounts down the street from where we lived at the time.
Yeah, in Broward County.
And I used to go to the ballot counting room all the time while they were doing this in the 2000 recount. And what the Gore team did with Dershowitz and the others and Al Gore is they were not recounting the entire state of Florida. They were going to counties that were Democrat counties.
Exactly.
Broward and Palm Beach, a little bit in Dade, and some other counties around Florida. They were only doing recounts in the 2000 recount in heavily Democrat counties because they figured in heavily Democrat counties they might find some more votes. And that's what they were talking about at the time. And I'm glad that Alan Dershowitz brought that out. Now, I wanted to talk about deranged Jack Smith. Mm-hmm. Now it came out, we got all the confirmations today that he did get from Elon Musk. This is going to be pretty bad for Twitter's business. Sorry, I can't call it X, guys. That's just stupid. I mean, give me a break. I mean, I know that's the official name, but, come on. But deranged Jack Smith, the special prosecutor in the Florida documents case and the J6 case in D.C. against Trump, he got a hold of Trump's Twitter account, including his DMs, his draft DMs, his draft tweets, and everything. And let me tell you what they're doing with this, okay, and what it indicates. This tells me that they have zero evidence of anything, Jack Smith, zero evidence of Trump saying or doing anything wrong. Mm-hmm. They have gotten through all of his communications, his phone call. Remember, he was president during this time, so everything he did was recorded and records were kept and multiple people were listening in on everything. The only thing that was, I wouldn't say off the grid, but it was off the official path of what the White House, every phone call he made, an email and things like this, every meeting he was in, there were witnesses, people listening in. The only thing that wasn't on that was kind of off the grid would be his personal Twitter, real Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. So what Jack Smith is doing is fishing. They got nothing on Trump. They've gone through everything he said and did nothing wrong because he did that. So they're telling themselves, well, if we get his Twitter that's off the grid as far as public records, we'll find something. And I thought it was interesting when they talked about getting his draft DMs and draft tweets. Rush used to talk about this a lot, okay? There's an old spy trick. I heard Rush talk about this, and I thought on the air more than once, and maybe some of you guys heard Rush Limbaugh talking about this. He said there's an old spy trick, and I can't remember the context in which he brought this up. This was many, many years ago. There was another story and this is before Trump came down the escalator. There was a story on something that sparked this conversation, but I can't remember what it was. But Rush said this: there's an old spy trick. You have an email account, and you write, and you want to communicate with someone. Like, say we're here in the United States, and we want to communicate with someone who's in Hong Kong. But if you call them or you send them an email, there's an electronic record of the email being sent. So he says what you do is you write the email and you save it in the drafts. You don't send the email. You write the email. You don't send the email. You save it in the drafts. And the person you're trying to communicate it with in Hong Kong, they can just sign into that email account in Hong Kong, look at the drafts, and see it. And it's never been sent electronically, so it can't be traced.
So let me say.
So let me finish, Kathy. So that's what they're doing with Trump's Twitter, right? They got nothing, so they're fishing, and these people think like spies. They are spies. They were spying on Trump at Trump Tower. They continue the spy ring, and when he was in the Oval Office,
well, they're probably working with the spies.
So they think he's like them. So they think that they're going to find communications in his DMs and in his drafts on Twitter for both his DMs and his tweets, and they think that he's been communicating with people this way. They got nothing on this guy. I think it's a desperate move getting the Twitter information.
Well, a few things on that. That tells me that they found nothing in his normal communication.
Nothing and anything.
So they're looking for this, and what they're trying to do is connect him to the January 6th and try to prove that he started an insurrection. They still haven't been able, because there wasn't one, they still have not been able to tie him to organizing any kind of insurrection of any kind, or even organizing any kind of violent protest of any kind. And in fact, I don't even know if they have emails or texts or DMs of him organizing January 6th at all. No. I think he just showed up and other people organized it online. They can't tie him to that. I think other people organized it, and then the left took advantage of the situation, and Trump just showed up. But they can't tie him to that. And you're right, they're trying to get this insurrection charge on him desperately to get him off the ballot and use that.
That's right.
That with that. Now, I wanted to ask you, say you write a diary or you write a letter to somebody, but that you want to get together with a bunch of people and rob a bank. Okay, this is hypothetical. And you want to steal money from somebody or put together a Ponzi scheme, and you write it in your diary or in a letter, and you never mail that letter. That letter stays in your house, in your office, in a drawer. Have you committed a crime?
Only if the crime is later committed and you're connected to it.
Okay, so if there's any...
No, that shows intent and planning.
That shows it. So that's what they're trying to prove here through the letters and the DMs and the correspondence.
Here's my concern. Let me read a little bit of this article.
But they're acting like a crime was committed, which I don't believe it was.
Okay, so let me just read a little bit from this article. A new court document revealed special counsel Jack Smith obtained access to Donald Trump's Twitter account, including private messages and draft tweets, after securing a search warrant amid his investigations. Okay. See, this is my concern. Okay. When people go into monitor things like this, they can't just they can find things if there's anything to find. I don't think there's anything to find, but they can also plant stuff. You understand? You understand what I mean? They have top spy techs that work for the federal government working for them, and I'm very concerned that they have access to President Trump's private Twitter. And I'll tell you another thing. This may be why he has never gone back on Twitter after Elon lifted the ban. Even though Elon Musk and others, they were forbidden from telling Trump, I think Trump probably knew they were doing this, and he hasn't used it. Not that he was hiding anything, but I think he might not have gone back on Twitter because he knew that Twitter was cooperating with the government with his private communications. But going after the Twitter is, I think, 100% proof that they have found nothing on Donald Trump. They're desperate to find something on Donald Trump. They got these court cases coming up. They got no evidence against him, and they're out there fishing. Now, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, there's a lot more to cover. We've just scratched the surface of what we're going to get into on today's program. Remember, the Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll be right back.
The new book from author William Thien is now available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. The Dream Chip. In The Dream Chip, meet David O'Rourke, an intelligence agent turned uploader for the Timelink Corporation, a futuristic technology company. His mission? Capture the thoughts and memories of the deceased and store them in the Will of Memories, a protected vault of supercomputers. But there's more to the Timelink Corporation than meets the eye. They're also the creator of the Common Council software program, which empowers citizens to have a say in government decisions. This revolutionary system threatens the power of a group known as the Civocrats, who are determined to maintain their control at any cost. As tensions rise, their leader organizes a mob to attack the Timelink Corporation. The fate of the future is hanging in the balance. The Dream Chip takes you on an adventure filled with technology, political intrigue, and the power of human memory. Order your copy right now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. The Dream Chip from author William Thien, and uncover the secrets that lie within. Step into the exciting world of boxing history with the book Rivals in the Ring, 15 Greatest Boxing Rivalries of All Time, from author Andrew Dalziel, available on Amazon. In Rivals in the Ring, witness the fierce intensity and emotional drama that defined boxing's most legendary rivalries. You'll feel the adrenaline as these titans clashed, both in and out of the ring, leaving nothing but pure passion in their wake. You'll learn about the harsh realities of boxing. Some battles led to life-changing injuries and tragic losses, reminding us of the sacrifices these warriors made in the name of greatness. When you read Rivals in the Ring, you'll embrace the evolution of boxing as it intersects with medical advancements, ensuring the safety and well-being of today's fighters. This must-read book sheds light on the sport's transformation and its impact on the lives of fighters. Rivals in the Ring uncovers some of boxing's most noble moments over the past 120 years, while also tackling the challenging aspects that test boxing's integrity. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Rivals in the Ring, 15 Greatest Boxing Rivalries of All Time, from author Andrew Dalziel. From author Gary L. Bausch comes the inspiring book, Never Waste a Perfectly Good Terminal Disease, available on Amazon. This heartfelt book uplifts individuals facing the challenges of Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, and anyone dealing with a serious, incurable illness or debilitating condition. Filled with hope and encouragement, it guides readers to embrace practical daily living with joy and cherish the present moment. By emphasizing the strength of faith, the book shows that hope can triumph over personal power when dealing with severe disease. Living under the protective wing of God's strength, assurance, and hope, find fulfillment and purpose even in the face of adversity. Order your copy of Never Waste a Perfectly Good Terminal Disease from author Gary L. Bausch on Amazon, and discover a beacon of hope and strength for those facing life's greatest challenges. Are you looking for the perfect style that makes a statement? Check out topofferstore.com, where you'll find unique presents for him or her. Elevate your fashion game with their eye-catching tote bags. They're as stylish as they are practical. From books to tech gadgets, the tote bags at topofferstore.com are sturdy, ensuring that your essentials are safe wherever you're going. They have a tote bag to fit everyone, from the white canvas tote bag that complements any outfit, or express your patriotism with the Make America Great Again canvas tote bag, or the USA Eagle denim tote bag. They have a wide range of tote bags, including the Los Angeles print denim tote bag, the USA Eagle, the Patriotic Cowboy, the Land of Freedom tote bag, the United We Stand tote bag with pocket, and that's just the beginning. Don't miss out on the best in style, practicality, and patriotism. Visit topofferstore.com. You'll find great gifts for everyone you know, too, as well as yourself. topofferstore.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. So there's a new poll out that you found, Kathy.
Well, it's from 3 weeks ago. But Jack Posobiec just tweeted it.
Well, that's pretty new. I mean,
It's
July 27th
in the New York Times,
and and it's got some new numbers on Trump, and this is, of course, before Fulton County's ridiculousness.
Right. And
I would only imagine the numbers are more in Trump's favor today than they were, on the 27th of July. But this is, but they asked people if. They asked 3 questions. Did Trump commit serious crimes? Did he not commit serious crimes? Or you don't know. 17% of those polled by the very liberal New York Times.
But they polled Republican registered voters. This is the gauge of the Republican voter.
Well, that's all that matters right now.
Exactly.
Because we're in a primary period, okay?
Right. Just want to clear
So 17% of those they polled said that Trump committed serious crimes.
Yeah.
12% said they don't know if he committed serious crimes. And 71% said he did not commit serious crimes.
That's a lot.
Now the question they don't have there, and that is, do you think he committed crimes? And they didn't ask them that. So every question is like
serious crimes,
making you say that he committed crimes.
Yeah, the way they worded it, I was thinking that too. Like it says serious crimes,
or not,
but it's still
serious.
Insinuating that he committed some kind of crime. It just wasn't
exactly
serious.
That's called a push poll. Yeah. See, the problem that these people have that are going against Trump, it's not just that he did no wrong. He did no wrong. They got that going against him. But things are going so poorly in the country right now. And everyone remembers how perfect things were going under Trump. And that also helps public opinion in his favor. And I was just reading this article about Target. Target had a big sales slump, 5.4%. Target is blaming its Pride themed collection that they had during Pride Month for the 5.4% sales slump. Its first sales slump in 6 years. Its stock has dropped. 5.4% doesn't sound like a lot, but it is because Target's a big company. That equals $14 billion
oh my God.
in losses. That's
I love
correct.
Target.
Target was forced to cut its annual sales forecast. They blamed the backlash it received for its LGBTQ plus collection, which of course includes those tuck-friendly bathing suits, which are bizarre.
Insanity. Yeah, and they had a guy. Didn't they have a guy modeling women's bathing suits with the tuck thing?
I don't know.
That's just lunacy.
Yeah. Target's foot traffic dropped by 4.8% last quarter.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And analysts blame a bunch of different things. But, it's interesting that they say 6 years because it was a little longer than that. I like how they cut that off at 6 years because it was about 7 years ago when they started doing that same-sex bathroom thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that was a big sales slump that they had too. And that is, left out of the story.
The problem they had with this recent one is, look, I have no problem with Pride merch. I really don't. It's not a big deal. I think some places go a little over the top, but it doesn't bother me. But the problem was they had Pride merch for children, and they also had merch for children, clothes that had things on the shirts that were about being non-binary, being genderless. That stuff is totally unacceptable to me because you have serious brainwashing going on, and you have people that are getting into your kids' heads that should not be getting into your kids' heads. And I know this has been going on, all our lives with marketing and all this stuff where they appeal to children. That's why they invented the Happy Meal, to get the kids into the McDonald's and get them hooked on it for life. I understand that's how marketing works, but this is something that's extremely personal to parents. And you have a lot of children now, and I said this was going to happen. You have a lot of older children now that are 18, 19, or in their early 20s, young adults, that are suing their doctors and parents in some cases because they said they were coerced into taking hormones, into having surgeries. And that's all part of the problem.
Yeah, so Target they just got destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So
what are they going to do about it?
You look at, and this, I'm going to throw this out to you guys, okay? Because I saw something else today that the Daily Wire, remember a couple months back, they did a thing on the her chocolates, with all this stuff that was going on with Hershey's. They got a new thing where they have their own razors, Jeremy's razors, because the razor companies have gotten very woke because they're reaching out to the transgenders and such. And
these people are just never going to learn. These companies, it's incredible.
Well, they think, the razor companies, shaving has really gone out of fashion for men. Beards are in.
That's true.
And beards have been in for a while. And I think the trend with beards began because of the war on terror. Our soldiers in the Middle East, they let them grow beards, which was a big no-no forever. And the reason they let them grow beards is so they would blend in better, far away, so you couldn't necessarily tell them from the Muslims.
That's true.
And that kind of took on as a trend. And some of these guys spend so much time getting their beards done. It's so ridiculous. But shaving's really kind of out. I don't even shave that much. And I very rarely shave with a blade razor like once a month, And so the razor companies are looking at this new group of people, transgender women that, are biological men. So they got to do shaving of their legs and their face. So they're doing all this, these razor companies.
So they think that's the future of their company. I don't understand how they can look at Budweiser, Target, all these companies, Disney, that are in so much trouble with the consumer, that are losing billions and billions and billions of dollars. Why would they jump on this train? I don't understand.
So what they
stupid.
What they get convinced of, which is really stupid, like the razor companies, for example, are the example I'm using here. They tell themselves, beards are in, so blade razor sales are down. My guess is, but there's this new demographic of transgenders, and they have to shave. Many of them have to shave their face and their legs.
True.
So that's a lot of razors.
Sometimes twice a day.
So we have to reach out to this new demo to get our sales back up, because beards are in now and blade razor sales are down, and they get convinced of this. And that group of people is not as large as you would think. Just because there's a lot of them trending on TikTok, they're a very small minority in the country. So this is my question to you guys listening. When has a company, during this woke era, when has a company gone woke, reached out to gays and transgenders, and it's helped their business?
I don't know.
Can you think? The only examples I know of is it destroying businesses and brands. I don't know of one instance where a corporation has said, okay, we're going to branch out to do outreach to gays and transgenders, and all of a sudden their business is booming like never before.
Yeah, no, it's never happened.
It's been destructive to every company that's done it.
And I think the trans thing is a fad. I'm not saying there will never be trans people, but I think this pushing of it, this promotion of it, is a fad that's dying down. So it just came in now. Fulton County clerk Shay Alexander, who leaked the charges against Donald Trump before the grand jury voted to indict, claims she accidentally clicked send instead of save. This is her right here. So she's got to come out and do interviews. She said, I have no dog in this fight. She's under a lot of stress. I'm only human. She said the post was just a dry run of the incoming indictment. That was the best word that I could come up with. It was fictitious. It wasn't real. It didn't have a stamp on it. She said, I tell my staff we just want to be transparent. I don't have anything to hide. So she's saying it's an honest mistake. She hit send instead of save.
The problem with the indictment that got leaked online is I've heard experts talk about it was leaked online before the grand jury reached their decision to indict.
That's right.
So the indictment was printed up and written up before the grand jury came back with the indictment, is what the question is.
Well, here's the deal.
So
if she has come out and taken responsibility and has said it was a mistake, so they can't fire her now, because if they fire her, she could come out and say, Kathy, somebody told me to do it.
You can't have the indictment written before the grand jury.
Oh, you mean written at all? Oh, she's saying it was fictitious, that it was just that it was just a fictitious thing, like a practice run, she said.
No, that's nonsense.
That's her excuse.
I
see what you're saying.
Kathy, all they do is file indictments.
So the fact that it was even written is a violation of his civil rights. The fact that they even had it written up.
Correct.
Oh, well, they're in
violation
trouble,
of everyone's rights that was indicted. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
His attorneys will jump on that.
All they do all day, every day, their whole life are write indictments and paperwork and post it online. There's no dry runs for that.
Yeah, it says here that doesn't explain how they knew exactly what the charges would be. If now I'm understanding. Yeah. If she's saying this was a dry run and it was fictitious, how come every single charge matches exactly what was charged?
Exactly. Now
they think people are really stupid.
Right now, this is so bizarre. Neil Cavuto is trending, okay, because he had Ramaswamy on.
Yeah.
And Ramaswamy's talking to him about pardoning Trump and all this stuff. Ramaswamy is bad news. He is bad news. Now, in the latest polls, he not only has surpassed DeSantis, he's like 5 points ahead of DeSantis in the latest poll. Ramaswamy is a dangerous, dangerous guy. First off, he stands for nothing. He changes his positions on a dime on many major issues, and this has been well documented. And this connection with the Soros brother paying for his graduate school, that right there is a disqualifier for him to have anything. And what Ramaswamy is doing is telling us everything you want to hear, okay, and try to wiggle his way into Trump's orbit and have a seat at the table and be an advisor to Trump. And I'll tell you, you can't trust this guy. He could be another one of these leaker spies like Mike Pence.
Who can we trust other than Trump? Who can we trust? I mean, it seems like we can't trust anybody.
The list is small, but Ramaswamy is a dangerous guy. He's George Soros guy, okay? You cannot allow Ramaswamy in Trump's orbit, the Republican orbit, or have a seat at the table.
Somebody said in your
sorry.
chat this morning that they were going to indict Trump through Arizona, and I didn't believe it. And now I'm seeing an article on the Gateway Pundit. Katie Hobbs said Arizona should prosecute Trump for challenging the 2020 election.
Well, should doesn't mean doing it.
Yeah, but
yeah.
That she might be putting it out there, so they're going to come up with a fifth indictment now from Arizona?
They very well may do that. Yeah. Why don't they just indict him in every jurisdiction?
They're just going to bury
Why don't they just indict him everywhere?
They're going to bury this guy in legal fees and in.
That's okay. That's okay. Let them do.
I don't think
what
it's
they
okay.
No, Kathy,
Brian.
There's something to be okay. What they're
I don't think it's okay.
What they're doing. Well, obviously, it's not okay. I mean, I wish none of this was happening.
I mean, we could keep saying that, but they are just never going to stop.
Listen, we have no control over what these animals do. Okay. These monsters are going to do what it is they do. So but there's such a thing, like salt. There's an old saying, a little bit of salt goes a long way. They're going after him too much where they're even losing credibility with their own people. Do you understand?
But
do you understand what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
They're
but
starting
I don't know if any of that stuff matters.
This is what's happening to all of these people.
Yeah.
Jack Smith has 2 cases. Fani Willis is Soros prosecutor Bragg in New York, and now we're talking about Hobbs, who is an idiot out in Arizona. Okay,
my goodness,
they're separate people, but they're working together. And what's happening is there's Joe McCarthy. Joe McCarthy's downfall is that he kept calling everyone communist. He was right about a lot of the people, but then all of a sudden everyone was a communist, right?
I know what you're saying.
And he was accusing too many people of being communist.
That's kind of how it
and
died off.
He became a mockery.
Yeah,
he started to look
So
he started to look deranged. So what's happening with these Democrats? They're going after him in so many different places and jurisdictions
over the top.
for so many different things. They're starting to look like Joe McCarthy. Joe McCarthy, by the way, was right. There were the communists are now running the country, but he was since he was calling everybody a communist. He became a mockery and lost credibility even by those who were supporting Joe McCarthy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's what's happening to these Trump haters. They are going after him too much in too many different places, and they're becoming a laughingstock even among their own supporters.
You have people in politics like Katie Hobbs that want to jump on this bandwagon. Okay,
you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Okay, this you're right. This bandwagon. Here's what it is. Okay,
they want a piece of the pie.
On social media. What a lot of people do on social media to try to get attention, is they get involved. They jump on trending topics.
Exactly.
And if you jump in on a trending topic, you can possibly trend. That's like clickbait stuff. I don't do that, and people tell me all the time I should, but I just don't have it in me to do that. But people get involved in these trends online to go viral. You know, get a viral TikTok, a viral YouTube video, a viral tweet, and that's what Katie Hobbs is doing. She's trying to get in on this trend to try to get publicity for herself. These people are going down the tube. Now, there's a huge sale going on at MyPillow.com. You know, it's the 20th anniversary since Mike Lindell invented the MyPillow, and there's huge savings. In fact, you can save up to 80% off top MyPillow products with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Now, you can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, not just the ones that we highlight, okay? I highlight what I think are some great deals, my favorite products that they have, and also what I consider to be the must-haves. But, Kathy, I wanted to talk about the My Slippers. The My Pillow My Slippers, which I have, are so comfortable. They're at the lowest price ever, as low as $25 a pair. There's a whole bunch of new colors in. They also have new sizes. They have bigger and wider sizes for men. They have smaller sizes for kids and women, and a whole bunch of new colors. Okay, so go to mypillow.com and order your My Pillow My Slippers with our promo code Kane, Kane, as low as $25 a pair. This is the lowest price ever. And I'll tell you, you know how comfortable the My Pillow is itself. When I put my feet in my Pillow My Slippers, it's like I'm transported to paradise. They are so soft. They are so comfortable. And all year long, by the way, they're comfortable. They feel great. And when I put my feet in the My Pillow My Slippers, I can actually feel the stress leaving my body when I get home from work, because work is stressful.
Well, your feet have all those. That's what they do. There's like a thing. It's called with reflexology or something. When you go to a masseuse, they massage. There's pressure points in your feet that connect to your body. And when your feet are relaxed like that, it does calm down your whole body. It's really amazing. So. It's all there really are pressure points in your foot for certain, like your heel might be connected to your heart. I don't know. There's certain things and they massage the foot. And when your foot is comfortable like that, your whole body relaxes. I mean, think about it when you're wearing like uncomfortable shoes. Yeah. You don't feel good, but if you're wearing really comfortable shoes and your feet are comfortable, it really does help the whole body feel good. Well,
that must be what's doing it. So the My Pillow, My Slippers, Kathy, I meant to order these a while back and I forgot. He has a new color that's in blue. Okay. And I like that color. Can you remember, because I keep forgetting, order those for me?
I will, no problem.
And just $25 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Also, all the My Pillow products we have, we buy them and we use the promo code Kane. The deals are so good. And sometimes Mike Lindell or his office will call me and say, "Hey, Brian, we'll send you this thing." And I already have 4 of them, They're like, "Really?" Yep. I said, "Yeah." So I said, "Hey, I told Mike Lindell, I said, Mike, I think I might have more My Pillow products in my house than yours."
Probably.
He's like, "I don't know, Brian." I was like, I said, and I started going through what I have. He's like, "Wow." Yeah. So anyway, the My Pillow My Slippers, as low as $25 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, you're supporting the program and all the content that I bring you, the radio show, the YouTube channel, the podcast, and everything, when you use our promo code Kane at checkout. We'll be right back.
Parents, grandparents, and teachers, there's a new children's book that you will want to add to your child's reading list. Sandy the Sloth Washes His Hands, from authors Joyful Nurse and Joy Pumar. Join Sandy the Sloth on a rhythmic journey to learn the magic of hand hygiene. This rhyme-filled book uncovers the secrets of clean hands through engaging verses and lively illustrations. It's not just a story, it's an essential lesson. In this must-read children's book, your kids will learn vital habits. Sandy the Sloth Washes His Hands is available on Amazon and Kindle and paperback. Order your copy right now and make learning healthy habits an adventure your child will cherish forever. Sandy the Sloth Washes His Hands, from authors Joyful Nurse and Joy Pumar, on Amazon. Are you searching for exceptional and captivating artwork for your space? Look no further than Canvas Crafts Gallery on Etsy. At Canvas Crafts Gallery, you'll discover an array of astonishing digital art that's available as posters, canvases, acrylic prints, aluminum prints, phone cases, and more. From cat lovers to 80s enthusiasts, science fiction buffs to animal lovers, Canvas Crafts Gallery has something for everyone. Experience the allure of original art that's a perfect fit for your home, office, or anywhere else. Visit Canvas Crafts Gallery on Etsy right now at etsy.com/shop/Canvas Crafts Gallery. Browse the collection. You will be impressed. Etsy.com/shop/Canvas Crafts Gallery. You'll find great gifts too. Start shopping right now. Etsy.com/shop/Canvas Crafts Gallery. Step into the exciting world of boxing history with the book Rivals in the Ring, 15 greatest boxing rivalries of all time, from author Andrew Dalziel, available on Amazon. In Rivals in the Ring, witness the fierce intensity and emotional drama that defined boxing's most legendary rivalries. You'll feel the adrenaline as these titans clashed, both in and out of the ring, leaving nothing but pure passion in their wake. You'll learn about the harsh realities of boxing. Some battles led to life-changing injuries and tragic losses, reminding us of the sacrifices these warriors made in the name of greatness. When you read Rivals in the Ring, you'll embrace the evolution of boxing as it intersects with medical advancements, ensuring the safety and well-being of today's fighters. This must-read book sheds light on the sport's transformation and its impact on the lives of fighters. Rivals in the Ring uncovers some of boxing's most noble moments over the past 120 years, while also tackling the challenging aspects that test boxing's integrity. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Rivals in the Ring, 15 greatest boxing rivalries of all time, from author Andrew Dalziel. From author Jay Gaines comes your next must-read book, Amare Bloodlines, available on Amazon. This is the sequel to Amare Bloodstreams. It's a story that will take you into a world of mystery and revenge. As innocence shatters once again, Amias is faced with a friend's tragic murder, pushing him to confront the man responsible for his brother's death. He must rise above the thirst for revenge as Caden's ruthless campaign continues, threatening even more lives. Amias is a symbol of hope, and he finds himself becoming the leader his people desperately need, harnessing his superhuman strength. But the truth remains, even his power might not be enough to stop Caden's deadly pursuit. In the face of an unwanted war, Amias must find allies and unite to fight for survival against Caden's deadly army. Amare Bloodlines, a story of resilience, hope, and determination, from author Jay Gaines, is available on Amazon. Order your copy right now.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
All right, now we got some huge news here, okay? And this is really amazing. This is from Mark Levin. And, remember, Mark Levin is an attorney. Mm-hmm. He's a constitutional expert, and he also is a senior legal advisor to President Trump. So he's not an official attorney for Trump, but he gives him advice, he gives him analysis, and I know President Trump does listen to him. So better watch out, Levin. They're arresting people that give legal advice to Trump. But he commented on something, and this is amazing and huge, and this is going to freak everybody out when this picks up. Okay. Now, they've been saying that the Fulton County charges are the most serious charges, right? Because he cannot pardon himself for state crimes. He can only pardon himself for federal crimes. That presidents can only pardon federal crimes. Mark Levin says that is not true. Mark Levin tweeted this. Listen to this. This is Mark Levin. This doesn't mean that Mark Levin is a well-respected legal mind. President Trump can, in fact, pardon himself from the Georgia charges if he is elected president. 1, the Constitution's silent about whether a president can be indicted. 2, the Department of Justice has taken the position under both parties that you cannot indict a sitting president. Let me open this up because he wrote a lot here. Because it would cripple the executive branch and make his ability to defend himself effectively impossible. 3, given the DOJ's position in the supremacy clause in the Constitution, Mark Levin says, I would argue strongly that the idea that a president cannot be indicted at the federal level because it would cripple the executive branch, but can be indicted by local DAs would have the exact same effect as a federal indictment, except there are thousands of local and state prosecutors making the crippling of a president even more likely, right? Because the federal government doesn't have as many prosecutors as all the localities put together. 4, if indicted and even convicted, the idea that a president cannot pardon himself from state charges is absurd. Again, not only because of the supremacy clause, but the same considerations that apply to a federal conviction would obviously apply to a state conviction. Therefore, I disagree with Jonathan Turley's views and others who keep repeating it. So Mark Levin is saying that President Trump can indeed pardon himself from local
Is there
charges.
any law that states one way or the other? I always
No.
thought there was a law
No.
that said he can only pardon federal.
No.
Okay. Well, then it's
No.
open for interpretation.
People keep saying that because
Right.
if they repeat a lie often enough,
Right. Well, I'm
know.
sure he's told Trump that.
I'm sure he has.
So he'll just run on the whole thing of, I'm just going to pardon myself.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting more and more popular. And I think you're right. People are realizing what's happening, and they don't like to see. It's scary to people to see this overreach of the government, and this. Hardcore liberals love it, but I think most Americans see it, and it frightens them, and they don't like it. Even if they're lukewarm on Trump or undecided, even they have got to be like, this is getting a little scary here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why his popularity is growing. And he should just come out and say, look, I'm just going to get elected and I'm going to pardon myself. So make sure you elect me, because that's the first thing I'll do on day one.
Now,
and I'll be in the Oval Office again.
There's a new poll out of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Of course, President Trump is in first place, right? President Trump's in first place at 49%. He is 40 points ahead of the number two. Number two was Chris Christie at 9. So Trump is at 49. Chris Christie's in second at 9. DeSantis third at 8.
Oh, my God.
Scott is fourth at 6. And then Burgum and Haley are tied next at 4%. And Ramaswamy isn't even, he's less than 4%. Ramaswamy is not as popular as we're being led
I don't know why
believe.
anybody would put on Chris Christie. I mean, he's just a disgusting person inside and out. I mean,
yeah.
He is a nasty person. There's nothing likable about that guy. I'm sorry. I don't understand anybody supporting him at all. Vivek, I can see he's very charismatic.
Hardcore Trump haters that want him to that like hearing him trash Trump.
Trump is so far ahead of it's like 40 points, so far ahead of these people. And did you see, I read an article where Tim Scott, he's another one you got to worry about. He likes Mitt Romney's idea of this is what I read in this article. Tim Scott likes Mitt Romney's idea of, in February, all of the other candidates other than Trump get together and choose one person to run against Trump, and they all back that person. That's Mitt Romney's strategy, and Tim Scott supports that.
That's
I read that article today.
Happen.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to work. Who are they going to choose? Him? I don't think so. So who are they going to get behind?
Exactly.
And decide to choose?
And I want you guys to think about something here. A couple things to think about. Donald Trump, a week from Friday, is going to be arrested for the 4th time, who's done no wrong.
Right.
Alec Baldwin killed a woman, shot another, and he's still free.
Well, he might get charged again.
I'll believe it when I see it.
They're saying that they did.
And what are they going to charge him with?
Well, they did a new. Remember when he went on TV and said the gun fired itself? They did a new ballistics test or a new test on the gun and showed that the gun was fired. The trigger was pulled. So now he is facing possible charges once again because they have now proven through another test that he actually did pull that trigger.
Well, of course he did, and the woman that he killed was the cinematographer. She was behind a camera lining up a shot.
That's right.
They film these things electronically now, digitally. Their cameras are always running. So there is recordings of this shooting. There's got to be. And probably from multiple angles.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen them. They had I don't know who's the prosecutor there now, but it was a lady prosecutor, and I think she had a thing for Alec Baldwin. And that had something to do with it.
Oh, boy.
I mean, he shot a woman dead, and he didn't get arrested. They put those 2 actresses in prison for academic dishonesty. They got their kids into college for cheating on the
Lori Loughlin.
Lori Loughlin and William H. Macy's wife went to prison for academic dishonesty.
Yep.
Alec Baldwin killed a woman, and he's walking free. Now, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And I hope you Patreon supporters have gone to see the videos that Kathy and I have been adding up there on Patreon. And I added a new one this morning on my way to the radio station. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Mike P, Rome, Wisconsin, Macho, Wesley, Nick, Rick, Carlos, Paulette, John, Arctic Fox, Heather, David, Richard, and Melissa. These are our top Patreon supporters. And if you would like to support the show by becoming a patron of the program, there's a link in every episode description. So check that out. Now, I guess it's been 3.5 weeks now since we got our new cat, Luna.
Yes.
And I just want to give you guys an update on Luna. Luna was a stray. Kathy's brother was feeding, he feeds stray cats. He was feeding her and other strays.
Yeah.
And
the cats all know. They all come to his house. They all seem to know. The word gets out.
Yeah, they tell each other.
My brother has always loved cats.
So Luna, who the vet believes is about 8 or 9 months old.
Yeah.
Okay. And as of now, and we've had her almost a month. So she's young and everything else. And this is the first cat we've had that's been a stray. We've always had cats.
Well, Emily took Sagua to California.
Our last cat,
I said to my brother, because I know he takes care of cats, I said, do you have any cat that's a girl that is really nice and likes people? He said, actually, I do. He said, I have a cat named Luna. I've been feeding her for a few months, her and her father. And she's part Siamese. And he said, she's very sweet, loves people. So that's how that kind of came about.
Well,
so he said, we'll take it.
She's a kitten, and she was very skinny and very scared. She had never really been inside a house before. And yesterday was like a switch had been turned on. For the last 3 weeks, she's been hiding all the time. In fact, been hiding so much. We keep getting worried that she got out of the house, and we're moving the furniture and looking under the beds and
they know how to hide well,
pulling the couches out and everything. And finally, yesterday, she's acting like a regular house cat, pretty much.
Well, Rome, who's one of our Patreons and listeners, she rescues cats as well, and she told me when we first got the cat, she sent me a graphic. There's the 3-3-3 rule. You have 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and Luna is like that, like on cue. Monday was 3 weeks, and Tuesday she was walking, and that's when at the 3 week mark they understand this is their home now.
We got her on a Monday night, so that was actually 3 weeks to the day on her first full day in our house.
And by
she
3
just,
weeks,
changed.
They know this is their house. They know you're their owner, and they feel safe. And that's like now she's walking around, like you said. She doesn't hide.
Jumps up in the bed with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
cute.
It's pretty cool, and we're very happy about that.
We love her.
But when we first brought her home, because she was a stray, she didn't know what kitty litter was. So I was like, she's got that figured out now, thankfully. So
she's smart,
and
she figured that out very quickly.
And every time it would rain, she would go hide under something. She thought she'd get wet in the house when she would hear the rain, because that's just what she did. But now she's gotten over that. She doesn't hide when it rains anymore.
No, in fact, yesterday it rained and she was sitting in the window watching the rain. And today the lawn man was here, and he was here 2 weeks ago, and she would go hide. And she was in the window. The guy was right by the window trimming the hedges, and she was just watching him, but not even bothered. So she understands she's indoors, I think, now.
But one thing about the new cat that's kind of, because our daughter has moved out, she's living in California, we tell you guys all the time, and she took her cat with her. Yeah. We do have our dog Nina, who's about 15 years old. And but now that we're like empty nesters, I always hear people talking about empty nesters.
Yeah.
We treat this cat more like a baby than we have any of our other pets. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's true.
Yeah.
And she's in this habit. She has gained weight, and she's actually grown. She looks bigger, like not heavy, like her body size is actually grown. And every time I go in the kitchen, because we feed her in the kitchen, she runs in there and jumps on the table to eat. So luckily she doesn't eat very much at once. So I feed her 2 or 3 times a day. And we have these pouches that are like these lickable things, and you squeeze. It's a new thing. That's her. Forget about it.
Yeah, so,
that's her favorite thing.
She's like a normal house cat. Right now,
she's really cute.
She's in the closet right next to us, sleeping on a box in the closet while we're podcasting.
She's not hiding. The closet's
no, she's not
open.
hiding.
No, she's just chilling, hanging out.
She's chilling. She sleeps on the couch out in the open. Sleeps in our bed with us. It was 3 weeks to the day.
One thing that's cute that she does. She jumps on the bed at night, and she looks at you, because you always fall asleep before me.
Yeah.
And I'll be watching TV. She looks at you sleeping, and she watches you for a second, and then she walks right on top of your stomach and needs you a little bit and then just falls asleep right there. It's like she understands this is Brian, Daddy's sleeping, so I'm going to sleep right. It's really cute.
Yeah. We almost got another cat over the weekend at the vet. I had to take the cat to the vet for some shots, and they have a bunch of cats. So we almost got another cat, thinking that would get her to bond a little bit more with the family, and we did, because I'm allergic to cats, and our cat Luna here, she's a short hair she's part Siamese.
She doesn't shed at all,
and so I've had no allergies with her, and I'm afraid if I get another one, my cat allergies will be acting up, because this is the first time like in 20 years I don't have allergy attacks. But anyway, Luna's doing fine, and I'm glad we got her. She's now listen, everyone, we're out of time for today. We'll be back next time. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Remember, the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast. And of course, also I upload the podcast to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. We'll talk to you next time.
The prequel to the book Amare Bloodlines from author Jay Gaines is now available on Amazon. Amare Bloodstreams. In Amare Bloodstreams, meet Amias, a foster child who stumbled upon an extraordinary truth about himself, a discovery that could change his life forever. As an adult, he must confront his remarkable abilities while battling to protect himself in a world unaware of the looming secrets threatening it. He's caught in a web of uncertainty, but must harness his unique potential as the most powerful of his kind, navigating a realm of trust and danger. His journey unveils his strength, a love that drives him to overcome challenges and claim his destiny. Will he rise above the odds or succumb to the challenges that lie ahead? Find out when you read Amare Bloodstreams, the prequel to Amare Bloodlines from author Jay Gaines. Order your copy right now on Amazon.